Denmark, ranked 10th in the world by FIFA, have now qualified for their 6th tournament in Qatar. They first entered qualification in 1958, but it would take them nearly 30 years to qualify for their first cup in 1986. The Danes were a pleasant surprise to the Tournament of Mexico 1986, winning all 3 of their group matches, including Scotland, then managed by Sir Alex Ferguson. They would thrash Uruguay 6-1, before the real shock, 2-0 over a West German side who would go all the way to the final. The debutants were hit with a real dose of World Cup reality, however, in a dramatic defeat at the hands of the Spanish. Jesper Olsen would be remembered infamously for a horrible back pass, leading to a Spanish goal after he had put the Danes ahead from the penalty spot. They would go on to ship 4 more goals and lose sensationally in the round of 16. The small Scandinavian nation would not qualify again for 12 years, but they were back in France, 98, drawn into the hosts group. A tight 1-0 win over Saudi Arabia, followed by a drab 1-1 with South Africa, was not a promising start. Despite losing to France 2-1 in the third game, they would advance in second place from the group. They faced off against one of the surprises of the tournament in Nigeria and elevated their game tremendously for the knockout round. A resounding 4-1 victory was touted as some of the best football of the tournament to see them into the quarterfinals. There, they would face Brazil. The last World Cup match for the famous Laudrup brothers was a strenuously contested match against the likes of Rivaldo and Ronaldo and Roberto Carlos. After opening this scoring immediately, the Danes were pegged back twice to go behind 2-1 by the 25th minute. An equalizer just after halftime promised a final 40 minutes of scintillating drama, but Rivaldo popped up again for the winner in the 59th minute to send the Danish home after a wonderful showing in the latter stages of the tournament. Denmark would qualify for their second tournament running in 2002 and once again availed themselves quite well in the Far East. They would record a great victory in the first match over powerhouse Uruguay, then draw 1-1 with a Senegalese team who shined out in Korea and Japan. A famous 2-0 win over defending champions France added weight to the idea there's a curse on the holders, and sent the Danish through to a round of 16 match with England. This would end in disappointment as the likes of Michael Owen and Emil Heskey netted in a 3-0 game where Denmark struggled to reach the heights of the group stage, and resulted in them crashing out. After failing to qualify for a third successive tournament in 2006, the Danes were back in South Africa, drawn into an interesting group with the Dutch, Cameroon, and Japan. They had to be liking their chances to qualify for the knockout rounds, but a listless defeat to the mighty Orangemen was followed with a rebound win over Cameroon 2-1. This left them still needing a result against the Blue Samurai. It was not meant to be, as Honda and then Endo would score directly from free kicks. They would be unable to recover and went down 3-1 out of the tournament in the group stage for the first time in their history. Leapfrogging another tournament, the Danish would once again qualify in 2018 for the Cup in Russia after missing out on the Brazilian edition 4 years previously. Another spicy group awaited them, and they were able to notch a 1-0 victory over Peru in their opener. An early goal from Christian Eriksen was cancelled out by the Australians in a 1-1 draw that left the Danes needing at least a draw to advance from their third match. They managed it against eventual champions France to go through to face finalists Croatia in the round of 16. Despite another early goal, this was the first of Croatia's overtime and penalty kick knockout stage games, where the Pins would go the way of the checkered red and whites, sending Denmark home in the first knockout round once again. For the fourth time in 5 of their World Cup appearances, Denmark will face France in the group stage, sandwiched between games with Tunisia and Australia, in a scintillating group in prospect at the upcoming finals. Can they embody the spirit of Michael Laudrup, the player with the longest gap between World Cup goals, having scored in 86 and 98? Will they be able to repeat a win over a defending champ? Coincidentally the same champion they did it to in 2002? Hopefully they can replicate the heights of the 98 knockout stages and bring some Scandinavian flair to the desert in just a few days' time.